Alright, this is Applied Magick by Dion Fortune. If you're curious about the Western esoteric path, what it is, how it feels, and how it differs from Eastern traditions, this is a powerful text to read. We often speak of the mystic way, the Eastern way, the path of renunciation, stillness, and inward ascent, as if it were the only true road to union with Source. But there is another path, often forgotten, often hidden. The path of mastery, the path of embodied power, of fulfillment through form rather than escape from it. One path seeks God in essence, silence in the unmanifest. The other sees God in the world, in matter, in the rhythms of nature, in creation itself. Both are valid, both are sacred. What matters is balance, to place attention and action on the form while remembering the essence, or to reach for essence while honoring the form it chose to wear. The mystic walks the way of subtraction, stripping away identity until only spirit remains. They fast, they sit, they climb the still mountain within. It's a beautiful path, but it's not the only one. The other is the path of engagement, of participation, of fulfillment. This path doesn't avoid human destiny, it exalts it. Instead of retreating from life, it transforms it. Each phase of existence is lived, understood, and spiritualized, not bypassed. This is not the mastery of a tyrant, but of a master musician, one who learns the instrument of the world so deeply they can pull from it songs of the sacred. The adept does not dominate, they harmonize. The temple master rules no throne, but serves as a channel through which divine balance flows. The task is evolution, to bring harmony to chaos, to equilibrate forces, to awaken spirit within matter. Eastern traditions speak to this as well. Identify with the partial and you gain power. Identify with the whole and you become free. But the choice must match your place in the journey. There is no skipping steps, no sidestepping the work. The soul must complete the descent into form before it can begin the return. To try and descend too early is to flee the training grounds. To renounce the world before mastering it is to bury your talent in fear and call it devotion. Ritual and rhythm, beauty, desire, instinct. These are not enemies of spirit. They are tools, gifts. They must be used wisely, yes, but not discarded. The ascetic may flee from temptation, but the initiate learns to hold it, harmonize it, integrate it. They do not destroy their instincts, they direct them. Like a surfer riding waves, they don't fight the ocean, they find the rhythm and they flow with it. In time, we will all step off the wheel of birth and death, but until then, to reject the physical before mastering it is to misalign your compass. Don't let someone else tell you what step you're on. If your heart yearns to see God in beauty, in the stars, in the pulse of the world, then that is your path. Follow it. Let your love and attention be full-bodied and wholehearted. Let your devotion move. This isn't a call to indulgence, but to order. Nature is a dance. Join it, don't fight the rhythm. Move with her, and you'll feel what harmony really is. And if your call is to retreat, to silence, to the inward climb, then ask yourself honestly, is it God pulling you inward, or are you simply tired of the weight of the world? One is devotion, the other is escape. You must know the difference. This is not about choosing right or wrong, it's about choosing the path that matches your evolution, that meets your soul where it is. Your next step is yours alone. Trust it, walk it. Whether you walk the path of stillness or of sacred fire, it leads to the same place, to wholeness. The language of the mysteries. Translating Eastern mysticism into Western understanding is no small task. The words may match in the dictionary, but the meanings behind them run much deeper. In the inner circles of mystical practice, language becomes kind of a code, full of metaphor layered with meaning. It protects truths from the unprepared, not out of secrecy for its own sake, but because those truths, when misused, can cause more harm than good. There are techniques that bypass the conscious mind, psychological shortcuts that can awaken dormant forces. But these forces don't discriminate. Without purification, without discipline, they can backfire, damaging both the seeker and those around them. It's one thing to burn your own fingers, it's another to start a fire that scorches others. Two worlds, two symbols. The divide between East and West is more than cultural. It's symbolic. In the West, sacred spaces are built around suffering. In the East, they center joy. This isn't just architectural. It shapes how we see life itself. An Easterner, raised with images of divine ecstasy, sees life as an unfolding dance. A Westerner, conditioned by images of sacrifice, may view life as a burden to be carried. The Greek and the Hindu would have understood each other. Both revered nature, both saw discipline as a means to power, not an end. But where the Greeks saw shadows, the East explored depth. The Dionysian mysteries are but echoes of what Eastern mystics already lived. The echoes of Egypt. Greek mysteries didn't form in isolation. They were reborn fragments of something older, something Egyptian. When Greek religion began to loosen its grip on the minds of thinking people, scholars turned to the Egyptian rites for structure and depth. They fused these ideas with the older, nature-based cults that still lived in the mountains and islands. The result, a sophisticated synthesis, not primitive, not naive, but rich, intentional, alive. Eastern mystics say the inspiration behind their mysteries came from Egypt as well. The great river flows both ways. Yoga and the Western mind. Advanced practices demand the right conditions, a trained body, a focused mind, a stable life. Anything less and the technique becomes unstable. The real power lies in the polarity, the dance between opposites, the flow between extremes. In Western occultism, this is known as the doctrine of manifestation through the pairs of opposites. It says creation happens when one becomes two. Transformation happens when two become one again. To bring something down from the higher to the lower, you break it apart and hold both halves in tension. To raise something from the lower to the higher, you find its opposite and fuse them. That fusion is where the current flows. Polarity in practice. The principle is everywhere, in the relationship between teacher and student, in the dynamic of leader and follower, in the interplay of man and woman. When the current flows, energy grows. When it doesn't, something withers. Magnetism isn't static. It pulses like breath, like tides. This flow connects us, not just to each other, but to the cosmos. Every part of us reflects a cosmic counterpart. Every thought, every feeling, every cell is part of a great feedback loop with the universe. Cut that loop off and something dies. The circuit of power, true initiation, isn't just a ceremony, it's a circuit. The initiator must be connected to spirit. The candidate must bring genuine feeling. Without both, the current doesn't flow. And when there is no current, there is no transformation. This applies to every relationship. A leader without ideals inspires nothing. Lovers disconnected from nature give each other nothing lasting. Magnetism must be cultivated, first within, through practices like Hatha Yoga, then outward through group ritual and shared symbols. Work alone too long and you dry up. Work only in groups and you lose your edge. The lost secrets reawakened. These are the real secrets of the mysteries, not hidden because they're hard to find, but because they require something more than intellect. Presence, purity, practice. They were lost when the world grew out of balance, when we exalted the sky and exiled the earth. But they can be found again, not in temples, but in your breath, in your body, in your becoming. This is the way of power. Not to dominate, but to participate. Not to escape, but to engage. And not to rise above nature, but to remember that you are nature, dreaming of the stars.